yesterday I was discussing with some people in San Francisco and said, that you had said that insight changes the brain cell. They felt very interested, but I wasn't able to say a lot more. I wonder if we could discuss that.
As it is constituted, the brain has functioned in one direction. Memory, experience, knowledge. It has functioned in that area as much as possible.
Yeah.
And most people are satisfied with it.
Well, they don't know of anything else.
Anything else. And also, they have placed knowledge as supremely important, and so on and so on. If one is concerned with a fundamental change, where does one begin? I suppose X feels he's going along in a certain direction, set by mankind, and he has been going there century after century. And when he asks himself what is radical change, is it in the environment? Is it in the human relationship? Is it a sense of love which is not in the area of knowledge and so on? Where is it to begin? You understand my point? Unless there is some mutation takes place inside here, inside my mind, brain, I'll go on. I may think I've changed. Or it may be a superficial change, but it won't be change in depth.
Yes, well, I think the first thing is to say that what's implied there is that the present state of affairs involves not only the mind but also the nervous system and the body.
Of course, on that side.
All is set in a certain way.
Yes, that's what I meant. The whole movement is a certain way.
Yeah.
And along that way, I can modify, adjust, polish, little more, little less, and so on. But if a man is concerned with a very radical change, where is he to begin? That's as we said the other day, we've relied on the environment to change us, society to change us, various forms of disciplines, and so on. But I feel they're all in the same direction.
Yes, well, insofar as they all emanate from the same way the mind is set and the body is set, they're going to not change anything, no. There's a total structure involved which is in the brain, in the body, in the whole of society.
Yes, yes. Now, so what am I to do? What is X to do? And he's asking this question, what is there to change? You understand, sir?
What do you mean by that? What is there to change? What is to be changed? Or?
Yeah, what is to be changed? Both what is there to be changed, and what is there to change.
To make the change?
Yes.
To make the change.
To make the change.
Yes.
Not only to make the change, but
to undergo the change.
Yes. What is there to change? X sees it can change certain things along this way. But you go much further than that. What is one to do? I'm sure man has asked this question. You must have asked it, philosophers have asked it. But apparently, the mutation doesn't take place. So what is X to do? He realizes the need for a radical revolution, in psychological revolution. He perceives, the more he changes, it is the same thing continued. More he inquires into himself, the inquirer is still the same, and so on, so on. So, what is there to change? Unless X finds a way to change the brain itself.
All right. But what will change the brain?
That's it. The brain that has been set in a pattern for millennia, you see it?
Yeah.
I think it's no longer, why should I change? It's imperative that I...
Yes, well, say in discussing yesterday, it was agreed that there must be a change, but the question is, how can the brain change, you see?
That's right. One must introduce to come to that point.
Yeah.
If this question is put to you as a scientist, or as a human being who is involved in science, what would your answer be?
Well, I don't think science can, it can deal with that because it doesn't go far enough. It can't possibly probe that deeply into the structure of the brain anyway. And many questions are puzzling there, the relationship of brain and mind, which science has not been able to resolve. Some people would say that there's nothing beyond the brain, and therefore there's no meaning to your question, right?
Purely materialistic, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, now, if it's not materialistic, then for the moment science would have very little to say about it. Maybe some people would try to, but you see, science generally has been most successful and most systematic in dealing with matter. And any attempt to do otherwise is not very clear.
Quite. You tell me, I'm the X. You tell me, insight changes the structure in these brain cells and so on. My immediate question is, response to that is, How?
Yes, I mean, that's what everybody asks, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody asks. How? It's not a matter of faith. It's not a matter of changing the pattern to another pattern. So you leave me without any direction, right?
Right.
You leave me without any instrument that can penetrate this.
Yes, except that you're implying that there is something beyond the brain. It seems clear that in putting that question.
But I don't know if there is anything.
We don't know, but I mean the very statement implies that insight is somehow beyond the brain, or else it couldn't change the brain, right?
Yes. So how? That's it. How am I to capture it? Knowing I can't capture it.
How will it come about, right?
Yes, how is this to come about?
But I think that it should clear up that you're saying that something which is non-material can affect matter. You see, this is the implication.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, but I mean, I think clearing this up would help make it more clear what your question is. You see, it's somewhat puzzling if we don't.
Now, all that you have said to me is insight brings about mutation in the brain.
Yes.
Now, and you explain what your insight is, which is not a result of progressive knowledge.
Yes.
It's not a progressive time, which is not a remembrance, which is not, which may be, you point out, which may be the real activity of brain.
All right, you say, let's put it differently, that the brain has many activities which include memory and all these you've said, and in addition there's a deeper or more inward activity, but it is still the activity of the brain.
Then it will be the same.
Yeah, well, all right, but you see, that's what's not clear. You see, in putting this thing, something seems to be not quite clear.
Yes. No, I must be very clear that it's not the result of progressive knowledge. It's not come by through any exercise of will.
Yes. But I think people can generally see that insight comes in a flash. It does not come through will, you see.
Yes.
And those who have considered it at all can see that. Also that probably chemistry won't bring it about, drugs,
Yes, I think most people see that.
Yeah.
Not most.
Those who are concerned.
Some people do see it. How am I, X, to have this insight? I see your logic, I see the reason, you follow all this.
In some ways it may disturb people, not clear what the logic is, in saying, what is going to make this change in the brain? Is it something more than the brain? Is it something deeper in the brain? You see, this is one of the questions which is not quite clear logically.
Are you saying, sir, that there is a function of the brain which acts without reference to its content?
What?
Is there a function of the brain, a capacity in the brain, to act without any reference to its content?
To the part, to its other, to the other, to the content.
Yes,
okay.
It bypasses, acts without it. But this isn't something that is changing the whole brain, coming into the brain, but it is a capability of the brain to...
Now you're asking something very quite...
Is that it?